Gregario Cycling listeners and viewers, this program is going to be in English, and we have a very special guest, Marnik Vansevenant, from the beloved Belgium, the beloved country of cycling. Marnik has been a professional bike rider and had become a motorcycle rider. When we're watching the races, we need somebody to be riding a motorcycle and to have with him a commentator, a photographer, or a cinematographer, so that we can be inside the peloton. And today, Gregario brings you into the peloton with Marnik. So, Marnik, welcome. Leandro Gregario here with me. So today, Marnik, you're bringing two guys on your motorbike, Leandro and myself. So we have to fit in on this program, but it's a huge privilege to have a great representative of our loved cycling country, Belgium, and somebody that shares the loves of bicycles, but have a unique experience and perspective on riding motorcycles and being our eyes and ears inside the races.
Thanks for having me. It's a special moment for me also.
We can start. Maybe if you can share your background as a cyclist.
I raced in my youth with many. I have been a cyclist, it's true, from my 13 until my 35. So I have been cyclist for 23 years. It's a long time. My youth was not bad. I was competitive against big riders who has been great pros like Mathieu, Brunel, and I had the opportunity for my first, when I was 16, I was champion of Belgium. Still, I earned this title. It's very strange. If you come to a race, even a small race, they pointed at you and say, hey, you have been a champion of Belgium. I say, yeah, but I was 16. So,
it's a champion.
That not
it's
really
a champion.
matters. So yeah, as junior, I was okay. Yeah, and then you go to high school, you learn to drink beer, and unfortunately, my character was not really like the Johan Museus and Johan Brunels. But I have been racing until my 35, and then in the first beginning, I want to be a motocrosser. Do you say it like that? To cross the motorbike?
Motocross racer. Yes.
Yeah, because I have a friend who was a little bit older who was doing that. I was crazy about it. I want to do a motorbike racing and crossing, but my mother said, "Guy, we have not the money for that, so we're gonna not do that." And it was the bicycle. So, and after my career, after the year 2000, when I stopped, I become a motorbike. I had my motorbike already, and I ride with the yellow flag for security, the riders, for I think 8 years. So I was still in the peloton. At that moment, you can cross the peloton. You stop, you cross it again. It was amazing to be part of the pro teams. And then came the question for riding with the TV commentator in Belgian cyclist.
We are talking about a scale, right? You become with a small job with the yellow flags, and then with a commentator, someone who doesn't need to be in front of the race, just come and watch and talk about that.
Yeah.
And then a more responsible thing to conduce, to drive for the camera, right? You were growing up.
Yes, that's true. Because also I think it's like in any job you have an energy. So you have, when you come. I was asked by a well-known commentator here, is Karel van Nieuwkerk in Belgium. He is well known. He has a great series in the Tour, Vive le Vélo, and so he was doing the commentator position on the motorbike at that time, and there was one stopping at the TV bike. So he jumped, the camera motorbike jumps to the TV bike, and there was a place free. And 14 days before the first race in Belgium, the Omloop in 2009, he calls me and said, Marnik, I've seen you ride with a bike and with your motorbike, with a yellow flag and everything. do you want to be my motorbike driver for the TV? It was like, unbelievable. But I have just changed from work, so I have to contact my new boss, and I said to him, you must allow it to do it, because it's for me heaven. And and then you do the commentate position. But anyway, it's a good learning school, that, because many times you are in the bunch, after the bunch, between the cars, where it's complete chaos and hectic, and there you learn at a certain point how to move between the cars and the riders and everything. So you have to be very careful there. There is no pressure really, but you learn a lot. And Karel and Renat Schotte, who was the second commentator on the TV, they were great guys, and they know so much about cyclism. And it was a good opportunity for 5-6 years. And then Rio was coming, the Olympic, and their need for the fifth motorbike driver TV, and I fell in, and that's the way it goes then. And we are now
cool.
2023, and have been all over the world.
Marnik, how does it take a learning curve for the motorcycle rider and your passenger, being a commentator, a photographer, or cinematographer, to learn how to balance together? Because of course, who's on the back is always twisting their body to look around, to take a shot. And how you guys communicate or learn, because he can take you down. He can take both of you down if he moves too abruptly. And maybe sometimes it does
better
happen.
not do that, but he's better not do that. But these guys who also in the back, these guys had also a lot of experience. And we have the intercom and the helmets, so we communicate, of course. And if he says, I go low with my camera and go on a cobblestone, it's some nice pictures when the camera is going just above the cobblestones. He told me, Marnik, I will go low, so I know that I have to steer the handlebar a little bit harder. And when they go up, it's a communication. They are really, really pros. They are heroes. You must know there is no protection for them. Ride on 50k or 60k an hour and just stand up after a driver, just stand up on your feet and go down then on 70, 80, 90k an hour, then give you a camera of 15k kilograms on your shoulder, and then go over cobblestones. They have to do the diaphragm, and they have to with the sharpness, they have to the colors. These are unbelievable guys. But of course, it's a teamwork.
You talked about standing up. Does the cameraman have any support to stand up? Like no,
not at all. That's the crazy thing. I have had cases where he jumped about 20-30 centimeters from the pedals, I think, because we cross a jump or something. In Belgium and the Flanders here, we have a lot of street furniture, the crazy stuff. So if a bunch after you comes at 60 kilometers an hour, then you have to go with a motorbike also like that. If you are behind, so he is free. He's free.
Because I was impressed with a shot. Maybe one of the Grand Tours where the cameraman was standing up while going down. So there were curves, and the cameraman was standing up and said, how can he do this? Also, the center of gravity for both of the pilot and the cameraman is very high.
Like I said, fortunately, these guys are so common with a motorbike in the back, and when you drive, you feel them, but not too much. And they lean really against you, so you get some pressure in the arms. But these guys are unbelievable. Never I should do it. Never.
You don't change.
Never I should do it. No. There is some. Yeah.
But Marnik, that's why used to be the same team, a driver and a cameraman, a driver and a commentator to do this better.
the more you ride with your same cameraman, the better it goes. But yeah, unfortunately, our director has not the same idea, so he likes to change. Now, last time in the World Championship in Glasgow, I have ride almost with the same cameraman, with Thomas, great guy. That helps. That helps. That helps. But the complete team is okay. So yeah.
Marnik, I hope you have time because I have 2,000 questions that I listed here. So question 1098, Glasgow is a good example. The circuit was absolutely challenging for everybody, sometimes with wet.
Yeah.
You rode there with a camera. And actually, I understand you were there in key moments. How was you as a motorcycle rider to use your skills and to position, because you have the challenge not only to ride the bike, but to understand where's a good spot that potentially is correct shot for whoever's going with you?
That's complete experience. Yeah. On time trials, you cannot do a lot of things. If the street is okay, you can go a little bit beside, so you can shoot like that. But if you're always in the back. But really in races, like the steep hill, it was just before the finish, 3K before the finish. I was lucky to go with Mathieu to the finish. He was falling right in front of me. That was very dangerous. I must say. I said to my cameraman, for coming back to that matter, I said, the turn before he fell down, I said that was my limit. If I go any further like that, probably we go down. Turn it again, he fell. So I was happy that he was felt.
Was he, not you?
My friends were not so happy. They say you have to cross Mathieu because our Belgian guy Wout was coming, but we cannot do that, of course. So yeah, he was really on the limit. We were on the limit, and then the steep climb comes. We have to give the image really of the crowd who was there. Stupid crowd, noisy, a lot of crowd, but you have to go just across him to see then the emotion and on his face. So that's something you learn. And if I look to a race, I know what I want to see, and I want to see the crowd, I want to see the noise, I want to see the road, but I want to see also the emotion. So in my head and in my cameraman, that was a great shot, I think. So experience helps a lot to be at the right spot at the right time. But
so just to stress, listeners, you're watching and listening to a person that was riding the motorcycle in front of which Mathieu Van der Poel fell on Glasgow. And all the videos, all the images you have, thankful for Marnik was positioning the shots to be there.
Yeah.
Marnik, this is why it's so complicated, because we need you doing your best, almost crashing, and the cameraman do the same. But this year, and we heard a lot bad words about the models. So I would like to listen your version, your point of view about this situation, about how many motos we have on the peloton. We need that. How this can be more secure, and situations like Pogacar at the Tour de France, when they try and there was a stopped moto.
Yeah.
It's a fair.
Where should I start? Let us start. Let us start with the situation of Tadej and the Tour de France. ASO, the organization of the Tour de France, has so many power. There was at that time really seconds between the big guys, so they knew that there was tension between the riders. They knew that it will be very crowded on this. The hill it was.
I don't remember the climb.
The Puy de Dôme, I think it was. Yeah, on the Puy de Dôme. They knew all that. You cannot let it be like that. There must be barriers everywhere. with the money they have, you must place barriers in the last 3-4 Ks, and they haven't done that. So I haven't heard a world championship or in Giros or something. You are in front of the riders, and you ride between the crowd, and the crowd opens 2 meters just before you, or they even not. You touch them with your mirrors, but that's a good thing for the riders. 20 meters back of you, they have a corridor to go through. And if the motorbike, of course, the bike with the photographer, very experienced, was there on a bad moment. He wanted to take the picture of the attack, of course, but motorbike of Equipe. 3 of Equipe are there in the ASO, French teams, and that was not his place. But even then, I think with the attack of Tadej, that the TV motorbike was not ready to go away. So, for my opinion, the main problem was the barriers that were not there from ASO. Must the TV camera been there? I don't know. You can say last 4K from the hill or finish, or we go to the heli and bye-bye motorbikes. Maybe we lost some of the emotions in the last case, but okay. But yeah, we are struggling, and we are not so happy with we motorbike drivers not so happy, because now we have these teams. I was in the Tour of Hungary, and there was Lotto Jumbo riding like hell, and yeah, crosswind. When I was looking in the mirror, I see 500 meters riders. So it was really one line. So it was really hard there in the back of the bunch. And at a certain moment, you heard Radio Tour, who was the president and the commentator for the complete caravan, who said motorbike TV, more distance. He said, more distance, how is possible? I look at my mirror, like 30 meters behind me, more distance. So, and then you see these riders who doing like that to take more distance. Yeah, I don't know why. You know, there's some things going on. I have asked riders already, pro riders, why you doing like that? We are on 30 meters. Why are you doing like that? And yeah, I not really understand what's happening for the moment. We have to discuss again, I think, with the riders why they do that. Because if you count, UCI asks 20 meters before the riders, a bunch, no matter what, the breakaway, 20 meters. Okay? If you count 50K an hour, that's 50,000 meters. 1 hour has 3,600 seconds. If I divided 50,000 meters to 3,600 seconds, per second, a bunch who rides 50 meters, per second, you have 13.8888 meters. So I'm like a driver, I count 2 seconds. If I pass a tree, no matter what on a street, I count 2 seconds, and then I know if then the bunch passes, then I know that I'm 27 meters in front. UCI say 20 meters. So 27 meters for me, okay. I always ride on 2 seconds. But even now, these 2 seconds is not enough, because I don't know why, but yeah. But it's true. You see too much motorbikes. If a young child is watching the caravan who's passing, he has seen 50 motorbikes and then a breakaway of three guys. Again, 20 motorbikes, security, commissaires, everything, and then again the bunch. So young guy says, or older guys, man said, why to have 50, 60 motorbikes for a race? Yeah, sometimes they are not so experienced guys, even on commissaire motos, on neutral motos. But I think in the lower in the rank you go on a race, the more difficult it is. I never had problems in World Championship. I never had problems in Giros or Classics here or Paris-Roubaix. I never had problems.
maybe because they are learning on the races. Everybody, including
of course.
riders and
Even I learn. Everybody learns, but yeah, there's an atmosphere about this motorbikes, and I'm sure. I think I have heard in the last reunion before a race, one of the last races, that there is a group, I think, from UCI. The name was Safe. I don't know, is it okay? With UCI guys, with team director guys, with commissaires, of course, with riders, I hope. And they are all discussing now, I think, a matter of what they will do to get the riders more safe. What is a good idea? What is a good idea? But
because the challenge is that
I have the idea that there's no motorbike driver is asked for this reunion. So
yeah, and I think that the full security is no bikes, but we need the bikes with the commentators, the photographers, and the cameras, because otherwise there's no coverage, and there's no coverage, there's no return for the sponsorships.
It's a chain.
So
it's a chain.
where is?
Yeah, it's a chain. If you don't have good pictures, you cannot sell your product. If you cannot sell your product, you don't have sponsors. If you don't have sponsors, you cannot organize a race. So the balance has to be okay. And now, if you look to pictures like of movies like 10 years ago, the motorbike number one who was following the breakaway was even sprinting against or just across to the line to have the picture of it. Now it's forbidden. If you cross now the line with a biker, you get 2,000 euros.
No one on the podium. I'm Lança Remo. No motos with the.
No. You have to take always the deviation. Always. The deviation could be on 1K. And then the heli have to do his job, and the fixed cameras the last 500, 400, 300, 150. But always take the deviation. Yeah, that's. But then you see on the Tour of Flanders, what is in Belgium, not a small race. Then you see the team car of not the commissaire car with the president inside from the UCI crossing just behind Tadej this year or something. That you say, hey guys.
Don't need that.
Yeah. Why is that then? Because it have to be clean. The area of the finish line have to be clean. Okay, clean for everybody, no?
For everybody.
Marnik, going back to the corridor, what is the feeling on riding a motorcycle on that tunnel of people on the climbs?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. Yeah, goosebumps. You know, and
you have to believe in God, because as a miracle is going up, right? You have to believe on a miracle that somehow this is going to work.
Yeah, I'm like Moses who said, hopefully it's getting open. Goosebumps. I have had it on World Championships. I had here in Classics. It is at a certain moment. Maybe at Tour of Flanders, you have the Eau de Quaremont, well known where all the VIPs are. There's so much rumor. I don't hear a director. I don't even the intercom of my cameraman. You hear nothing. You hear you hear So you are so glad if you come out of an area of this that okay, everybody is okay. We are together, still on the bike. Okay, let's do the further race then. Yeah, it's amazing. That's why all these people go to the Tour de France thing. I think all these spectators who are without trousers, without carnival situations, they are running with them. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. But yeah, I think that's cycling a little bit.
Talking about communication noise, you said that you have a radio on your helmet with a microphone, and you communicate with your passenger, but also there's any communication with the center TV control asking to move to a position, and also there's another communication with race radio. So there's three different channels. How does it work?
Like you say, like you said, sometimes you get a little bit crazy and the head. I must say, I will say it a little bit silenter. The volume of the radio tour, I sometimes put a little bit less. The main thing for me is to hear, of course, the intercom, but and all the time the director who says normally you have 3, 4, 5 motorbikes. You get your red light like on a normal TV studio. So on the camera inside of the cameraman is a red light. I have a red light on my bike when I'm really on live, and the director sets Moto One ready, Moto One live, Moto 2 ready, Moto 2 live. So this communication is all the time there, all the time, all the race when we are live. And then you have your communication. And sometimes radio tour is coming with a puncture for jumbo, crash, no matter what.
But is everybody on the same channel?
Well, you have the radio tour channel as the channel for the whole caravan. All the team directors, everyone is listening normally to radio tour, and the director channel is our channel. Even the commentator doesn't hear that channel. The commentator hears then the commentator position from at the finish. So he comes in to the other 2 guys who have the commentator, and then the commentator on the bike comes in, and then you hear at the commentator bike you hear the commentators. TV bike as the director.
So just to come back, you are riding for 4, maybe 6 hours, a motorcycle with its almost all obstacles and all things happening at the same time on a visual, trying not to get down, trying not to run into a cyclist, and with 5 people speaking on your ear.
Yeah.
And try to
catch
the best view. No?
That's correct. Yeah.
And someone behind you trying
correct.
to make the best scene.
Sometimes you have to drink also something, and you have to eat something. And eating something on a motorbike with your hands on the handlebar is not so easy. So you get complete chaos afterwards on your trousers and everything. No, it's a lot of input. It's a lot of input, but the more you do that, it's a certain habit, I think, and you make separation of what is important. If radio tour, you hear it somewhere, but if they not say motorbike TV something, it passes me really. Just if I do motorbike 3 behind the bunch, that could be important. Then when a rider is coming back or something. But normally radio tour is not so important. So you have to the toughest things, get that and separate the other things. Otherwise, it's like hell enough. And if you, after Tour of Flanders, of Paris-Roubaix or World Championship, Milan-San Remo, Lombardia, if you take off your helmet at the evening, then you it's enough. It's enough.
It's
a beer is welcome then.
As a watcher, as someone who watched the race, we have more exciting moments and more relaxing moments. And for you, it's the same when you are going to Paris-Roubaix or when you are going to a mountain stage. You are more happy or more tension, or is the same?
It's the same. It's really the same. I think if you not be on the same level from motivation or on a smaller race or a bigger race, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You have to be focused all the time. In any race, it's so dangerous. A rider, they come from everywhere, and it's so dangerous. So you have to be focused. There is no difference. There's no difference. But, of course, in the World Championships in Glasgow,
a
million of spectators.
Atmosphere.
It must be okay. Maybe you are a little bit more focused there. Yeah, but you have to learn with it.
Insisting this. There are races that you like more to be there, and the races it's difficult, more difficult to work. and you are this like Tour of Britain that rains a lot, so something like that, or
Yeah.
even Hubert with the
I should say at the morning that we know it was the Glasgow, the pros race. Yeah, everybody, you see it on the faces of everybody of the team that this day it has to be okay. Everybody is more focused. Everybody is more focused than another race, but you cannot. Less focus because it's too dangerous. But of course, the big races must. If you go downhill on 90k an hour with in Lombardia last year, downhill roads I never ride before, you don't know if it is a sharp corner or something, and you have a bunch after you and with 180 crazy guys who go like hell downstairs. Then you have then it's really hard.
How much being a cyclist has helped you doing your work as a motorcycle rider on the pro peloton?
Probably a lot. Yeah, I think that it's a big advantage if you have been in the bunch, in the breakaways, or where the wind is coming from. You know how a peloton will react on situations more than one who has never been racing. So I think it helps a lot. I'm sure of it.
Talking about help, I imagined that it could have happened sometime, or even more than once, that a motorcycle rider is kind of a friend with a bicycle rider and kind of helps the stream.
Yeah.
it's real.
It maybe. I tell you a secret. I have been second year. I do a TV commentator, and I was Nils Pollitt, still riding, young guy then at that moment. He is for Bora cycling, and in German. And I was with the commentator position between two group of riders, and there was a corner to the left. He has just had a bad hill, struggle hill, so he was almost on the wheel from the breakaway. And I was in between, not so experienced, so I go between him and the breakaway. He doesn't take the corner, and I look at my mirror, and he was away.
He was there.
I thought it was my fault. So we do the descent. I go the corner after the descent. I look, there was nobody there, no commissaires of everything. I have a wait for Nils. I said, Nils, come, guy. I put you with me to the breakaway. What was his normal position? Because it was my fault. But you cannot do that because you don't know what the hell he has taken from pictures. Now you have your VR, the VAR, commissar. He sits and at the finish, and he sees every bike. He sees every picture of the heli, so he sees everything. You cannot do that, and it's not okay. It's against all I stand for cyclists. No.
But I imagine it did happen, and the Italians
used to
are
hear
famous on
about
helping
it.
each other. Yes.
Yeah.
In the past.
No, for sure. We our team, we don't do that. That's not okay. I should say it. If I see it, I will speak on it right away in a race, I think.
Marnik, you said about Polit, but how is the relationship with the riders? You can talk with them during the race, or they are
talk. No, if you are in a breakaway and 3 guys and they jumped away after 2k of race, and you are all the way 140k. Sometimes you are riding across them, and sometimes you speak a little bit about distance they have or the weather or something, but it's always very short. So we also, in many races, we have to search the bikes on the truck on the finish There we take the bikes, and then we go back to find the races where we begin the live pictures. So we are very often not on the start, so we don't see the riders. We take the riders with to the finish. After the finish, we don't see the riders. We go back to the truck. The moto goes on the truck. So we have not so many communication with the riders, but for sure they know who we are. I think after all these years and always the same faces, they know who we are. But communication, not a lot, no. And that's good. That's good for this friendship you just mentioned.
For you as a motorcycle rider, what is more tiring, to do a flat stage that nothing happens and it goes to a sprint and you have the boredom, or to do a very intense mountain stage that you have to pay attention all the time? Because I imagine for us watching, of course, it's completely different, but nothing happens. So it's kind of exhaustive to wait and nothing happens. I imagine you at a motorcycle, nothing happening. And then to keep your focus, to keep your attention might be
driving
a challenge.
at 35, 40 kilometers per hour.
50, yeah. That's Renouille Tour in Belgium. And that's the only world tour in Belgium. I did a motorbike one, first 2 stages, I think. And it was first stage four guys who went out after 4K. So I have seen there was a bunch sprint at the end. They take the 4 breakaway, I think, at 8K from the finish. So I have seen 4 races, 4 riders. The day after, the same 4 do the same breakaway. Again, the same story. So I have done 2 stages. I have seen 4 riders. Boring. But yeah, the cyclism. You know, if you have the one in flat races, it's always like that. I have been a women's race, classic here in Belgium last year, and I have worked. I did also the one there, and I have filmed together 100 meters. There was a breakaway at a certain distance. I take 15K from the finish. And the lady takes all she gets to went out from the bunch, and the director calls Moto One. You can go to the lady. I go and I think 100 meters. I think a shot, and then the bunch was there again, and that was my thing the whole day. So
you're mentioning something.
Give me the real stuff. Give me.
You mentioned something that although you are in the race, you're not watching the race. So you have no idea of the big picture, right?
No. Sometimes when you come back from the tree and so after the bunch and then it splits and you go another group. And I have had that this year. And I was after, I think, for 4th place or something. And I see 2 riders in front of me. So that was 2nd and 3rd place. And we were riding like hell, everybody. And I said, who's the guy who in the front? There was one guy who was riding 50, 60 an hour for 20K. I was not aware who was what. I was not aware who was it. So sometimes you said, okay, I'm not here. Who else is where? Yeah, you have that. We have had that in the Olympics and in Rio.
Yeah.
Great experience. I did the 2 there. I go the downhill to the finish where Nibali and Micah and the 3rd Colombian guy, I think, crashes.
Sérgio Henao, perdão.
Yeah. And
was free.
I was not even aware that 3 guys were in the front. So I hear Radio Tour. Fortunately, it was open over there, and I hear the crash. The director with Motorbike One also hear the crash. And when I pass, I have just 1 meter to pass because Nibali was fortunately already stand up. Micah was going to the street, to the side of the street, and the Colombian guy, was
Sérgio Henao, Colombian.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah,
from Colombia.
Yeah, it was very, 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 very nasty there and tricky there. But sometimes you don't know what it happens. the nicest thing as motorbike 3 after the bunch, then you get a lot of riders to see, and you know a little bit who is behind, who is in the front. Motorbike 1 is sometimes, in Glasgow, there was the Italian guy, Bettiol,
Rachel.
who was coming. Say, okay, oh, hi there. And then Bettiol was caught by the hill. Mathieu was going, and it was the other guy who was with Mathieu. So
Before we talk about Rio, you were at Tokyo too.
yes,
So you did the female race with Van Vleuten and the Austrian.
yeah.
It was the same, right? We even know
We don't understand. The tactics of the Dutch ladies there. That was I was doing the one also. I think there was with Austria lady. Her name-
Kissenhofer.
Yeah, good, Leandro. I said, where are they? Where are they? This Dutch team, so strong team. Yeah, there was, I think, a miscommunication, something, but yeah, that was really one of the strangest things from tactics that I have seen. Yeah, and it was
Talk about Rio. Talk about Rio. Many of our listeners had ridden in Rio and did the descent, the Mesa do Imperador, Vista Chinesa, where Nibali fell. How was driving the motorcycle on that circuit?
On the edge. It's not necessary. Yeah, it's of course this great spectacle for everybody, but it was a very, very dangerous downhill. It was too dangerous for my idea, and in this kind of race, it was narrow and it was corner after corner, sharp corner. It was very, very one of the difficult ones I have done. It was I can understand that Nibali crashes there. I can understand because he is well known for the fastest downhiller, but too many risks. I think it was very, very, very dangerous. Yeah, it was.
Talk about Rio and scenery. Do you have the time to check the scenery, to watch the view of the places that you ride your motorcycle, or you're just too concentrated on the radio, on the route, to just graze around?
We have to do the rehearsal, and at the top of the Chinese pavilion there was some apes. We have seen some apes. I haven't seen apes at the race. I had no time to see. No. I don't see a lot of the nature of something now, because are you in the front of the bunch, you look all the time, 80% of your time in the mirror to see where they are, to keep your distance. If you are motorbike 3, after the riders, after the bunch, you have to look everywhere in your mirrors for cars and riders. With a breakaway, you should, that's okay. But in a lap like Glasgow, we don't have time. So no, we don't have many times to look to nature or monuments or something. No.
Talk about challenges. The Belgian cobbles. Sometimes it's slippery, and sometimes you're more skating than riding.
Mm-hmm.
How is it, and what kind of skills you had developed to pilot your motorcycle on such slippery? Because I know friends who ridden there, and that there are 90-degree corners on the cobbles, which when you come, you said, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. And on a bicycle at 20 kilometers an hour, I imagine a motorcycle at 50, 60 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, this motorcycle weighs almost 400 kilos. So you cannot take a corner like the cyclists do. That's for sure. I'm tall. I'm 193, so I have long legs. I could put my legs to the ground. That helps. But if you have a breakaway or for the bunch, and you have Mathieu Van der Poel over there or Wout van Aert to cyclocross, and if they attack, you are in big shit. So and if it's wet, then at the beginning, if I was doing that for TV, one guy who has a lot of experience at that moment, he is retired now, he said, you must understand that a motorbike can take a corner faster than a cyclist. Always, he said. Of course, cobblestones are very tricky. I think because the riders like Mathieu or something, they don't use the cobblestones. They use the barriers outside, the grass or something to try it. So with your motorbike, you cannot do that. So yeah, I'm really I can say it straight now. I'm always happy that I passed a zone like that with cobblestones. If it is the Quaremont or the Paterberg, or for sure, if it is wet, then you have some crazy motor guy from Equipe or Photo News who comes just beside you, and you go like together on the Quaremont. I have already said to the regulators, stop with that. We have cameras, we have everything. Stop with that, because that's not okay. That's not okay. But I'm always grateful and happy that I'm past okay. But it's not so easy. That's not so easy.
Have you had the bad luck of having a jerk as a passenger?
No. Like
a person that you didn't get along well, and it was a nightmare to be together with that person for 4 or 6 hours.
No, because I think I'm a social guy, so they know on the bike that we laugh a lot. We sometimes we see a nice lady at the side that we see, and we talk about the lady for a while. So no. All these guys, they are so professional, and they go all over the world. They are social. No professionals. No, never had.
And it's like a war buddy, because you both going through a big challenge that you need to go through.
It is, and you know the responsibility of driving the motorbike with your with a man who's doing his job is not less. You have to be responsible, and he has to go at evening or after so many stages, go back to his family, and me too. I have to go to work again, and so you can work on the edge, but at a certain level you have to say now it's too much. And you said they said you have two kind of motorbike drivers, and the one who has crashed and the one who has to be crashed. So I'm lucky I have not been crashed for the moment, but take wood here and say never.
You mentioned the men. Are there women starting to have this profession as a motorcycle rider, or as a cameraman, or a commentator, or you start to see any of this, or there's still a group that knows the skill a lot?
I'm sure that the motorbike driver can be a lady or a woman. That's possible, I think. I don't think it's possible for a cameraman. It's too heavy. It's too heavy. 15K of this camera. You could say why they still use this heavy camera, because you have now cameras like the Italian guys, and then if they want to do an image very, very short, because there is no lenses strong enough on this cameraman, they go like with the camera, they put it under the nose of the rider. So this picture from what they use as camera is 15K. There's a VAP lens, they say, so it's steady lens, costs a lot of money. That's if you want nice pictures, then you have to use this kind of camera, and that's too heavy, I think, for a woman.
Oh, and
we have tried it. We have two ladies in the team with the fixed cameras, great camera people, great work, but they have tried to work on the motorbike and standing up all the time. Yeah, this takes a lot from knees and back and from the guys. So I haven't seen it yet. Maybe some bodybuilder will come, Arnold Schwarzenegger and female will come and and
No,
be
we
on the
see
bike.
today women having jobs that supposed only to be men, like Navy SEALs or very tough physical jobs. So it
Maybe
can happen.
such a woman can
Okay.
do that. Yeah.
But
And Marnik,
it can be very
because
tough.
you mentioned something about the equipment that I've noticed on the Netflix series that they use GoPros in many shots. But I imagine the responsibility on a live shot for 2-3 billion people in the world, you have to have the absolute best. So you cannot take a risk of
No,
a semi-pro equipment.
you have
Because
now,
you only have one camera to take that shot and
yeah,
nothing can go wrong
of
for 2
course.
billion
And
people.
I have some responsibility to give good work, but his cameraman is responsible. Yeah, it's enormous. And you have now two types of live covering. You have the live view we said here with the network 4G or 5G. We use it sometimes. It costs less. You don't need an airplane beside above you. So you don't have all these people around. So you have a network cable, you put it in, and that's it. But here in Belgium, the 4G is not good enough. So you have many times that you have cuts and for seconds, and so that doesn't work very okay. They don't use it for the moment in classics, world championships for sure. And then you have the live coverage with the real stuff, with the plane who circles above you, and yeah, I think you need that kind of stuff, but it's so complex, and it's crazy that not more are broken or something. If you see these bikes with everything inside these cases, electronics devices, everything, who turns, who take street furniture at high speeds, that it most of the time works very well, and that's crazy. That's every time, and sometimes it doesn't work, and then there's always a car before us, a car from the TV. If you have something with your camera or your helmet or something, they have always spare, so we can communicate also with the director. If I see a crash or a puncture, I get always the information to the director, so he can send a heli or use us. So I can also say from guys, I don't hear anything, or the camera is broken, or so, and then we have to go to the assistant car and he help us, and then we come back. So that's a little bit.
I have been in discussions about doing why people don't do more race transmissions in Brazil. On the past, the Brazilian networks had tried some, and I think very few people appreciate that the complexity of having a specialized elite people like you, like the cameraman, and I would assume that there's a dozen or a few dozen of professionals skilled and experienced as you are as a motorcycle rider, the cameraman, the photographer maybe is a little more people, the commentator a little more people, but the cameraman and the motorcycle riders is, I think there's a lead of a handful of people that have been doing this for a lot of time with a lot of experience. And the biggest Brazilian broadcast in the past had done a transmission where they lost the race. And there's the director of TV just got lost who was leading. And the motorcycle rider didn't know where to position himself because whoever does motorcycle riding for a marathon is completely different than doing a bicycle race.
It is. Yeah.
So is that true that there's a small elite where which you are part of?
If we really speak about high level, then I think you're right. We are Belgium. We are well known for our TV broadcast, like our team, because cyclism is in our DNA. You are born, I think, with some wheels in your veins or something. It's so we are well known for that, and we do further on that level, or we try to do it on further on that level. Then you have we work for a company, EMG, that is a European company on over Britain, Italy, Dutch, Belgium. Then you have NEP, who is a great big player, American player, I think. So they do also a lot of races. So you have a small amount of players who can cover normally a good race. You have other, and then you see it. If you see, unfortunately, that I said it, and sorry, colleagues, but the Vuelta was,
I'll agree with you.
not really the standard that we work for.
I agree, and because of Gregario, I have been watching the races for the last year and a half, flag to flag, so from start to finish. And I agree that the coverage that the Vuelta had on 2023 was below par. Many, even in Madrid, when they were on the circuit, they were going to the heli. You wanted to see the riders. There's only 15, 20 seconds, and you didn't have the view of the riders. It was
a complete team. A director was not really okay. I think it was maybe his first time. Maybe he shoots Real Madrid against Barcelona or something. That could be okay for his job, but cyclism was not his thing, I think. First thing, and then the complete team was not really okay. But you can say, hey, we have been watching, and what can I say? There is some level difference, and
we understood that we have different companies doing the job for different organizers. But do you still have a race that you would like to be on to work on this race to check?
Yeah. I have checked already a lot. The situation is I have also a professional job, so I have to do. I have also a woman, a family, so she needs also a little bit attention. And if you go for the job I do for my hobby, you have to do it 100%. You cannot say, I do the Tour of Flanders, I do Paris-Roubaix, I do Milan-San Remo, I do Lombardia, I go to the Giro, and otherwise less important races. I don't do that. So you have to be engaged for 100%. And that takes a lot of time. And fortunately, I can do that with my work. But doing a complete Tour of France, for example, of the Giro, maybe I have to that, and maybe next year. 2 times they have already asked me to do the Giro, because Tour of France, this ASO, that's our colleagues, French colleagues, and I don't think they're gonna use a small Belgian motorbike driver on the Tour of France. That's also the reason we don't do the Olympics in Paris in 24, because the French guys are there with logic. But a complete Tour, Giro or Tour de France or something, or maybe the Vuelta to get a better level.
I think they are looking for someone better.
They need help. They need help.
Yeah, they need help. We have been in China in the Tour of Hainan with Chinese people. First time do live coverage of a bicycle race. It was great. It was funny. It was. And they were so open and for help, and we did a good job there. So maybe Vuelta, yes, but maybe next year Giro. I have to look if I am not holidays on my work to do that.
Marnik, after a race, how long does it take you to cool down? Because I imagine that you come.
But at the age of 57, 1 beer on 7 degrees is already. Covering
enough.
That's already.
Shut off everything, a beer, and go to bed.
One.
We start always. We start always with one. Always with one, and normally I have with the car back to home. So 1 or something. But at home we have some good beers in Belgium, so that helps a lot. Yeah. No, for sure. If you have the Flanders of World Championship or something, you need in the evening not the disco or the big bars to no. Yeah. Tranquilo.
Tranquilo. Marnik, very, very honored to have you here to know and recognize, because in a sense you are a gregario domestique, because without you, we wouldn't have eyes and ears inside the peloton together with your team. So it's an honor to meet you. It's an honor to know somebody that lives inside the peloton. And curiously enough, doesn't watch much of the races because you're in the race. But thank you. Congratulations on your job.
Thank
and
you, guys.
Accepting the invitation.
Let's keep up the good work.
Thank you, Marnik. Next time we need to do this chat with José Ernesto Rocha, our friend.
Good
maybe
idea.
With some beers or maybe caipirinhas or something like that.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Come to Belgium or I come to São Paulo. Is it like that?
Yes.
Yeah. I was there for 7 hours and the return flight from Rio. So I was 7 hours in your city.
Enough.
Enough.